It turns out that this Luna crash and UST crash was a deliberate attack to show the instability of algorithmic stablecoins. And so I'm going to explain a little bit about what that means to our audience, and then we can kind of have a conversation. So there are two types of stablecoins. There is a reserved backed stablecoin, which is collateralized backed to the dollar, which means that every dollar you convert to the USDC is backed by a dollar in a physical bank somewhere, and you can always exchange it one for one. And an algorithmic backed stablecoin is not like that. It's just the underlying asset, but instead there's an algorithm that keeps the digital dollar at the price of a US dollar. And now UST was on the Terra blockchain network, but the goal of the team was to make UST the preeminent stablecoin on all blockchain networks. So there was plenty of liquidity for UST on the Terra network, but not necessarily as much on, say, like the Ethereum or Cardano or Solana networks. So this made it easier to initiate a short attack on UST, which then caused a crisis of faith by the holders of UST and thus Luna. So basically there were two entities, two people, we'll get into who those people may be, within a 24-hour period that sold over $400 million of UST, withdrawing it from the Anchor protocol, which is the main yield protocol of the Terra network. And I'm sure I've gone over the heads of a lot of people just by saying that. But just understand that there were two attackers. There was a short attacker number one that withdrew $226 million from Anchor, and there was a short attack number two that withdrew $190 million from Anchor. And both happened within a 24-hour period. And what that caused is a cascading liquidation effect into the whole system. So the creator of Tron, now we're getting into who may have been responsible. So he's a competitor of Luna UST. So what he did was he bought a bunch of UST, and that kind of alerted the Terra team. And then that's when this Justin Sun, who is the creator of Tron, said that, he may have a secret plan going on. So now I have to add in another fact here. So about a week before the attack, the creator of Terra UST, whose name is Do Kwon, bought a large amount of Bitcoin as a precaution. So whoever sold that Bitcoin to Do Kwon is also a suspect, because they then received a lot of UST in that transaction. So how did this all wind up? So on Monday, May 9th, UST lost its peg. What does that mean? So it means that it should be at a dollar, but it fell to about a dollar. It fell to about 95 cents. And stable coins are supposed to match the US dollar, so losing 5 cents is a really big deal. Then on Tuesday, May 10th, UST continued losing value, and the Luna Foundation deployed capital in an attempt to stabilize the coin. And then on Wednesday, May 11th, UST dropped to 80% of its value. This created an arbitrage opportunity. And for those of you that don't understand what an arbitrage opportunity is, it's when you can take advantage of a difference in price between two markets. Now, a lot of people in DeFi, in Web3, are doing this on a daily basis. They are looking for differences between the exchanges, and then they're making a ton of cash. So let's say, for example, just because a lot of people understand stocks better, let's say that Tesla was both on the NASDAQ and the Japanese stock exchange, which they are not. So Tesla is only on the NASDAQ. So because there might be a delay in Japan lagging the difference of sales by about 10 seconds, I could write a bot that says, when there is a big enough discrepancy in price between these two markets, I want to do an arbitrage system where I then buy on the NASDAQ and sell immediately on the Japanese market, and I make the money between those two differing prices. It's very difficult to do. You really need a lot of good coding and bots to do it. But this is basically what happened. So when UST traded below $1 and was no longer pegged to the Luna, an infinite loop occurred and diluted the existing supply of Luna until it was worthless. $500 billion were wiped off of the market. Luna Foundation had to liquidate $1.5 billion of Bitcoin from its reserves, causing Bitcoin's price to drop below $26,000. That's a crazy story.
It is. It is. The thing is, what for me, like that kind of like followed the story from far. Like, what's the relation between Luna and Terra? Are they not two different things?
So
How
so
can one affect
Luna
the other?
so Luna is the coin on the Terra network. So so
And I get it. I get it.
here's where everybody kind of gets confused is that the coin on Ethereum network is called Ethereum,
Hmm.
right? But as more people rolled out blockchain, for instance, the Richard Hart project, the blockchain is going to be called Pulse Chain, but the coin that is going to be the denomination is going to be called PulseX. So there, yeah. So it's Luna is the coin on the Terra network.
Okay. All right.
But
So
it really shows that the algorithmic stablecoins are not secure.
yeah, but then now from this, where do we go? Like, is there a way to for this like stablecoin to go back up? Is there a way like that they can recover from it?
Well, there are a lot of people who've lost a lot of money, and they want to convince a lot of other people that Luna has an opportunity to come back up. I there are I have seen so many scams on Twitter and on YouTube over the last week about Luna, hyping Luna, how everything's going to come back. And I mean, look, you have to do your own research. You have to make your own calls. No one can, you need to be financially responsible for yourself. And there's, I was even listening yesterday to really intelligent financial advisors, and they asked him, would you invest in Luna at this point? And this was a couple of days ago. So Luna was at $1. And he said, yes, I invested a small amount of money in Luna when it got to $1. Now realize that it went from $102 down to $1. So that's where all that wealth got lost. But now it's at 0.0001 cent. So that financial advisor, even if he just put $200 in at $1 each, he's still lost. There's no coming back from this because at the end of the day, look, it's hard enough to get investors to fund projects, right? Everyone who is making money in the blockchain now is fortunate that they have investors that are willing, that are confident enough in the people that are running these blockchains to give them money. No one is giving Luna money. No one with the financial. It would take $1 trillion to bring Luna back up into $100 per coin mark. It's just it's not feasible. There are so many other things that you can do with your money. And I would just say to anybody that there are a lot of scams going on now. People are mistakenly buying Luna in the hope that it will make a return. And I listen, this is not financial advice, but there's no way that this is going to happen.